As part of CCXP, Disney unveiled the first trailer and the official title of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, the highly anticipated final adventure of Harrison Ford as the fedora-wearing explorer. While the first trailer doesn't reveal the titular Dial of Destiny, there are nevertheless many clues hidden in plain sight. Despite that, the trailer brings some familiar faces back to the franchise, promising an emotional farewell to legacy characters as a new generation takes up the torch. We couldn't be more excited about Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, especially since this is the first proper indie adventure since 1989's Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Yes, we will ignore 2008's Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Fight me. So, while we try to uncover the mysteries of the Dial of Destiny, let's break down the trailer frame by frame and highlight any details you may have missed. A car chase in Cairo. The trailer opens with a car chase in a deserted city that could be Cairo. Indy has a history with the Egyptian capital because his friend Salah Mohammed Faisal al-Kahir, John Rhys-Davies, lives there. And as an archaeologist, Egypt is ripe for tomb raiding and exploration, which led Indy back to the country multiple times. Since Dial of Destiny explores the character's legacy, we'll most likely travel with the hero to Cairo again. Indy is leading a quiet life. While the trailer opens with a thrilling car chase sequence, Salah's voiceover indicates that Indy has been leading a quiet life and staying away from life-threatening adventures. That makes sense since Dial of Destiny is set in 1969, a long time after he chased the Holy Grail in 1938 or aliens with crystal skulls in 1957. Time waits for no one, and Indy deserves a quiet retirement. He won't get it, though. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the Dial of Destiny. A lesson on space shuttles. Indy keeps working as a college professor, and his current lesson is about space shuttles. That isn't random, as the few details we have about the Dial of Destiny plot tells us Indy will fight ex-Nazis who infiltrated NASA's space exploration program. That's an excellent way to hide a clue in a trailer. Is that Indy running on top of a train? The trailer also shows us Indy running on top of a moving train, which is far from the retirement as we could imagine. However, we don't know if this scene happens in the present, 1969, or the past. Maybe during World War II, Dial of Destiny will somehow explore Indy's history with Nazis, which means that the whole train sequence could take place at a different point in the timeline. Dial of Destiny's trailer plays a lot with the notion of time, superposing images from the present and the past without telling fans which is which. That might not be accidental, and maybe Indiana Jones's next archaeological venture will somehow deal with time travel. Indy's connection to his artifacts. While Indy wants to put his adventurous past behind him, he still keeps an emotional connection to all the artifacts he's helped recover over decades. Dial of Destiny trailer underlines how the movie will explore Indy's retirement, past glory, and the explorer's desire to relive his golden days. That sounds like the perfect goodbye as Ford prepares to hang up his whip for good. Salah is ready for an adventure. Not only has Indy changed a lot since his last adventure, but Salah is also dealing with his old age. However, unlike Indy, Salah seems willing to embrace adventure, which means he might give Indy the final push he needs to find the titular artifact. Statue of Athena. During Indy and Helena's underground journey, they stumble across a mysterious statue. While the trailer never gives us a direct confirmation about who's depicted in the figure, the art style hints that this might be a Greek sculpture of Athena, daughter of Zeus and goddess of wisdom. This could be the first clue to the origins of the mysterious Dial of Destiny. Helena and Indy share the spotlight. Helena, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, is all over Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, sharing the spotlight with Indy while they go on their globe-trotting adventure. Clearly, she won't be a supporting character, but will take the lead with Indy, reinforcing the hypothesis that she'll become her godfather's replacement. A de-aged Harrison Ford. The trailer gives us a clear look at the de-aged face of Ford. In this scene, a younger Indy is tied to a chair while wearing a Nazi uniform. It seems like the explorer has been caught during an undercover mission. These scenes in the past might connect to Indy's present, as Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny's main villain will be the former Nazi commander Voller, Mads Mikkelsen. Who is Antonio Banderas playing? The trailer also gives us a closer look at Antonio Banderas' mysterious character. Of course, we know he'll be an old friend of Indy, but as we recently found out, Banderas' part as Dial of Destiny will be minor. Mads Mikkelsen's Valor. The new Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny footage also allow us to take a closer look at Mikkelsen's Valor. In the trailer, the villain is wearing a full Nazi uniform, which means we'll see him before World War II ends. So it's fair to assume Valor and Indy cross paths before 1969, and the two might have some history together. It's interesting that Dial of Destiny seems to give Valor a personal grudge against Indy, as this helps to flesh out the villain. The Antothera Mechanism. The trailer shows us a mysterious round artifact that could be the titular Dial of Destiny. There are engravings in the metallic object that resemble constellations, and it seems like we can move some of the pieces of the artifact around. While we won't know for sure what this artifact is until the movie comes to the theaters, it could be that the next Indiana Jones is drawing inspiration from the Antothera Mechanism. This instrument was used in ancient Greek to predict the position of planets and the occurrence of eclipses. So, in a certain way, the Antothera Mechanism allowed people to know the future and past. So, what could a mystic version of this artifact do? Indy faces enemies at a U.S. parade. To underline how ex-Nazis infiltrate the American government, the trailer shows a gunfight between Indy and his enemies during a U.S. parade. It will be interesting to see how the movie explores the complex political context of the later 1960s, while also showing how Nazi officials and scientists were incorporated into NASA's space program during the Cold War. The scene also reveals Boyd Holbrook as Kleber, Valor's brutal enforcer. Indy's Fedora. While Indy tries to escape his past, Destiny dials his number, forcing him to get back his fedora and whip. It's a touching moment that reinforces how the movie is about legacy and reliving your past. The Statue of Atlas. Indy and Helena's cave exploration leads them to the Statue of Atlas, the titan cursed to hold the world's weight over his shoulders. This is yet another clue to the Greek origins of the Dial of Destiny and a nod to Raiders of the Lost Ark, where Indy had to run away from a giant boulder not unlike the one Atlas is holding. The Nazis return. The trailer reveals Indy will fight Nazis atop the moving train. Using his whip, the explorer disarms his enemy, showing how Indy masters the weapon better than anyone. Since Valor and the Nazis seem to be part of the past sequences of Dial of Destiny, we'll hopefully see Indy take down many Third Reich lapdogs, which is always a pleasant sight. Guns versus whip. As much as Indy trusts his whip, the weapon is ineffective against a room filled with goons carrying firearms. The trailer's final scene nods at Raiders of the Lost Ark, where Indy faces a Nazi henchman in Cairo. The henchman shows his abilities with the sword, inviting Indy for a duel. Instead, Indy just grabs a gun and shoots the henchman. Similarly, during the trailer's final scene, Indy tries to intimidate a group of criminals with his whip, only to be greeted with dozens of bullets. It's a funny callback to the franchise's first movie and an indication that Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny will reference all of Indy's previous adventures. That was all from us today, folks. For more content, make sure to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.